All right, so I can start off by introducing myself and my role. So my name is Santos. I'm a officially third year PhD candidate in Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. And my research is very much on the border of, wastewater, but also looking at, what happens to that wastewater once it's, in the river systems. And do we have to worry about it furthermore from biological effects? So I get to work quite often with a lot of biologists, ecotoxicologists, and a lot of chemistry folks. The few compounds that I'm really interested in are antidepressants. I know that's kind of a depressing fact that we were worrying about antidepressants, but it is what it is. In terms of my role, I've been really fortunate to be able to work with Laura as co-chair, and our responsibility is to take care of, that's Laura waving there, our responsibility is to make sure that our team is well taken care of. So our goal is to make sure that they're well supported, well connected, and they have a clear direction of what they want to do, and they don't have any confusion on what they expect and what we're offering for the overall community. For the larger SWIGS community, our roles are very much focused on making sure that we're catering to a wide range of opportunities and events, and making sure that we're not overwhelming you with the things that are there that you feel that you're always missing out. So things that are reasonable, but at the same time enough that you don't feel like that you feel engaged and able to kind of participate in those different offerings. And the last part, I guess, is more on representing SWIGS and coordinating with the Water Institute along with what that means. So part of that means being sitting on the strategic planning committee meetings and helping the Water Institute kind of strategize of, when they're trying to plan out their plan for the next 5 years or so, what kind of feedback as students we can offer them, understanding of different opportunities, potential threats for the Water Institute, and what are strengths that we would like to highlight and offer. Other examples of that is also we have the annual reporting that we have to do. All of our budgets and financials, we report back to the Water Institute. What else? I'll hand it over to Laura because there's still more that she can also share.
Thanks so much, Sandas, and the wonderful introduction to SWIGS and the nomination phase. My name is Laura Neary, and I'm a PhD student in my third year as well in the Department of Biology. And my research is centered on land in northern Alberta and Northwest Territories, and I'm studying some natural lake systems and ultimately developing long-term monitoring programs for these landscapes that are changing before people's eyes. And I am within SWIGS, the other co-chair. So Sandas and I kind of teamed up this year. I'm not sure how often this has happened in the past, but Sandas and I were kind of both interested in tag teaming that position. And she did a wonderful job of explaining the overarching goals of the chair position. I just wanted to further that a little and explain how we sort of devised that that role between the two of us. And it was pretty easy from the start because we were both interested in different parts of the chair role. So Sandas really took on I would say the front end of the chair, and I took on more of the back end. So Sandas was really there in the meetings, leading the meetings, keeping everyone on task. And while I managed more of like the email account and the scheduling of the meetings and the recording of the meeting minutes. So it ran pretty smoothly between the two of us, in my opinion. Additionally, I fulfilled another role within SWIGS, which is the academic chair. So I was a co-academic chair with Narasimhan, and we sort of tag teamed on the academic events. I won't go too in depth about those so that he has an opportunity to introduce all of the wonderful academic events that we put on this past year. I guess that will lead into introducing yourself, Narasimhan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Narasimhan. I'm a second-year PhD candidate in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. I work with Laura to coordinate the academics and workshops for SWIGS. when I applied to be a part of the committee last year, I was very much interested in this particular position, and I was fortunate, to get that role, and and to uh, you know and to go about it. Uh, in the past year, we started with the pandemic, right? So, like when this committee got on board, the pandemic was raging full on, and we had to, reinvent everything. Make everything online, and that has been an interesting and challenging experience, and yeah, it's been great. We've organized in the past 2 terms 3 Blue Drinks events and 4 workshops, and we were also able to come up with several more ideas that didn't work as well. So if you are interested in the academic side of things with SWIGS, I have two main outcomes that I felt like I received, being a part of the SWIGS team. The first one is that, like, I was able to expand my professional network and leverage the network that I already had outside for SWIGS, right? So that was really helpful personally, and I thought it also worked out well for SWIGS. The second thing is I was able to make connections within grad student community. That was great. I wouldn't have met people from other departments otherwise, right? So those were two great outcomes that I feel that I received from working with SWIGS. And yeah, like as far as the daily duties, or like whatever we do as a part of the academics team, is that we come up with ideas, we present it to the team gives it feedback, and then we coordinate with the operations and the social side of things to promote the event, and we go on to organize the event on the said day. So the team is pretty cooperative, and I had nothing but fun being a part of SWIGS. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer it for you. And yeah, that's it for me. I like to pass the baton on to Helene. Would you like to explain how the operations work?
Sure, happy to. So I've been mentioned a couple times now, and that is because my job is mostly to share everything that the team does with the rest of our membership. And so that usually means our newsletters, which for our setup, we did bi-weekly for the 2 terms. We did fall and winter. And then for the summer, it's going to be more of a monthly setup. I'm also in charge of running the Facebook page and our Twitter account. So if you've seen anything about SWIGS, it was probably written partially by me or shared partially by me. And in that role, I'm able to fulfill, it's kind of a great role in that I get to see what everyone is doing, because everyone has to eventually share it with me. And you get to sort of help out in any way you can with anyone who might have questions, or if someone tries to reach out to SWIGS, usually it's through me on the Facebook page, or they see something in the newsletter and message me personally through email or whatnot. So it's really like, if you want to have a little bit into everything, operations is a great place to be. But it's also great if you want to practice your writing and social media skills, because in this day and age, everyone has to have a little bit of social media, I think, ability to get anything off the ground. So yeah, I really got a chance to really practice my PowerPoint skills and writing emails, which, we all did, especially during the pandemic, right? Like a few every day. So that's always been super nice. And like Narasimhan said, it was a great opportunity to meet people outside of the department and other water professionals. A lot of them I had met from my cohort in Water 601 and 2, but I wouldn't have met Kathleen or Kevin or Navia unless I had joined this great group. So that was my main drive. I didn't go into SWIGS wanting to be in operations, but I think it was the perfect place for me to end up. And I'm sure if you're interested in SWIGS and you're not really sure where you'll fit in, I think once we have an idea of who's going to be here, you guys can talk amongst yourselves, and really it's a collaborative process. So even if you are operations, you can help out with social, and even if you are academic, you're helping out with supporting for the conference or things like that. So it's a really wonderful group, and I hope to see you guys on the exec team next year. And I guess I'll pass it on to Kevin, who's right above me in my video feed.
All right, cool. So I'm a bit of an outlier here. So I'm very recent. So I'm probably one of the newest people in the actual water program. So I started on SWIGS about a month after I started my PhD. And so my job is essentially I act as the student liaison for the academic side of the actual collaborative water program. So for Water 601 and 602, which some of you have probably already done, maybe not already done. So I'm kind of the go-to guy for those courses. I make sure that everyone in the courses knows what's going on in the Water Institute. I make sure the Water Institute knows what's going on in the courses. And so I also serve kind of like Helene does. I'm a bit of a floater on the team. I get to help out everyone and be involved in a little bit of everything. And so far it's been really fun. And it's been nice to kind of get a chance to connect with people, especially within Water 601, which I did last term, a bit more, especially now since everything has been online. And we now are pretty sure that 602 and fall will be online as well. So if you have any questions about the actual classes and things like that, the research seminar, then you can always feel free to get in touch with me. And I will pass it on to, I see Katie here, I'll pass it on to her.
Awesome. Hey, I'm Kathleen. I'm fulfilling the social role at the moment. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm in the Department of Biology, and I'm also studying lakes in a northern freshwater landscape. I'm interested in water balance, how that's changing as the climate changes. Yeah, so the social role has been super fun. I joined the team in February. Also, a bit of a recent addition, taking over from the last person who moved on. Yeah, it's been super fun organizing events. They've all been online so far, but we're hoping to kind of get them outside, though they'll still be online for the summer. And it's basically whatever people are interested in. We've done some games nights, we've done some scavenger hunt stuff. We've tried some more like interactive activity-based socials to try to switch up the kinds of social events and conversation that might come up. So yeah, it's been interesting doing it online because so much of a social interaction is like in the conversations that you have with just a few people, maybe rather than a larger group. But it's a fun and relatively, I don't know. I was going to say fun again, but like easygoing role, I think. So I work a lot with Helene, and then to get everything communicated and organized and forms set up. And then I also communicate quite a bit with Kevin to make sure that the folks in the courses in the water program know what's going on and have options to come. Yeah, that's all I'll say, I guess. Navia, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure, I can go next. Thanks, Caitlin. So I'm Navya, and I'm the Vice Chair Outreach External in SWIGS. I'm in my second year of Masters in Sustainability Management, and my research is on water quality and small-scale fisheries. The time I joined, as like Narasimhan just mentioned, it was like the transition from in-person to virtual time due to the pandemic. Even though there are like two positions, so like outreach external and internal, me and Nastaran worked like closely together, and then we had like events. this time was a little bit challenging because we don't have like in-person as interactive activities, but we tried to like have a movie night based on the documentary of Flint water crisis, which was like pretty much engaging initially. And then we had the recent water and you contest, which is running like pretty much smoothly. And there was like quite a bit of effort which we need to like work on it, which for us it was helping with like Laura and Saunders on like initially with all the execution of the stars and then the rules and regulations. It's actually like very interesting and exciting for participation of students and to see their artwork and their imagination. So I would say this role as like pretty much connecting SWIGS and what like the Water Institute members are doing with the outreach or like connecting with other students. Even I had like the chance to work with Laura and Narasimhan to connect with our research group to exchange ideas or like share programs, which is I think is really useful at the time of pandemic because everyone like collaborative events can have like more participants as well as like reaching out to people. From my personal side, like joining to SWIGS, I was the only one who was working closely in water in my department. So I didn't know anyone who is working in Water Institute or like there are people who work related to water, even though I was in water course, but I couldn't unfortunately take the water program. So this SWIGS was like really useful for me to connect with people in water research and to know about it more and then incorporate certain ideas on my research. Yeah, that's all about it. I will like transfer it to Nastaran to explain more about our works.
Hello everyone. Sorry, my internet is not good, so I just go with the voice and my video is turned off. I'm happy to be here. So I joined the swing about 1 year, and yeah, as also other members mentioned, we start with like online media, and so I work with Navia in the outreach. So we have we plan some activity for the student in university, like a movie night, which was a good experience. And we have the chance to talk and discuss about the documentary which we saw with other fellow students. And besides that, we have we arranged some art contest, which was like a following of the art contest which we swing had in the previous year. For the elementary students. But for this one, it was like we get help from from the other vice chairs in the swings, and also we have lots of volunteers who help us for this to happen. And so the swings has provided the chance to me to be connected with people who are interested in the in the water in the water area, and they help me to develop some skill for my futures, and it was a very great opportunity, and I hope that I can this one can encourage you to actively participate in the swing and get nominated for the future for the next year. Thank you. I'm not sure if all the person introduce themselves, or I just might be someone. Maybe Helen, if there is someone, you can ask her or him to introduce. Sorry.
I think the whole
we got
team,
everyone, right?
Yeah, I think the whole team went already. And I just remembered there's one more role, which is the conference or the vice chair conference. So I've kind of been in that position. That's how I first got involved with SWIGS, was that I took that on before the pandemic came. So I had been in the previous years planning out the SWIGS participation in the World Water Day conference. So that at the time involved coordinating. There's kind of like a mini job fair that happens at the exhibition where students can submit their resumes, and employers that come to the exhibition have a choice to select from those resumes to meet with potential candidates and interview them during World Water Day. So that was one piece that we coordinated. The second was the art competition for graduate students on different water topics. The third is the actual, manpower and volunteering and coordination on the day of the World Water Day, the live event itself, as well as just the logistics of coordinating the spaces and identifying where things are going to be. And then if SWIGS is going to be hosting anything SWIGS specific, like an interactive workshop or like that, so that involves the development of it and coordinating with a larger team. So I was really fortunate to be part of that process. And then a few days before the conference, when all the closures happened, so we actually had to not host the conference at the time. But some of the things that were online at the time still went ahead. So the students that had submitted resumes, the ones that had potential were contacted by the potential employers already. And then the second piece, the art contest for the graduate students, also went ahead. It was the other two pieces where we were hoping to do more of an in-person setup, didn't end up going through. So then the next year around, hence the reason I was in a co-chair position with Laura, is I took on how can we take some aspects of the World Water Day and put it still have a conference, but in an online setting. So I was able to work on an interactive workshop related to water and how people value water and understand water, and kind of walk the attendees through that process. So I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to look like next year, hopefully when things are back online, but that's kind of the other role that I forgot to mention earlier.